Howdy, howdy. Zoo Devil here, and we're going to go through all the Wood Elf units and all of their abilities. So we'll go through everything in order: lords, heroes, infantry, missile infantry, cavalry, chariots, monsters, and rare monsters. So if you want to find what you're going to find, I will do them in exact order from start to finish. So we'll start off with the Wood Elf's regular lord, the Glade Lord, and we'll just remove all his abilities so we get a base cost. And his base cost is 950 gold. He does have magic ammunition and a range of 190, which is very good. Forest Stalker, and he can fire on the move. He has encourage and missile resistance of 15%. He does have a choice of 3 mounts. The Elven Steed, which gives him plus 48 speed and plus 15 charge bonus and 500 health. The Giant Eagle, which gives him 700 health plus 64 speed, so 110 speed minus 20 melee defense, plus 60 weapon strength and plus 40 charge bonus. And he can be up on a Forest Dragon, which gives him, on top of his magical attacks, he gives him, his melee attack becomes magical, and he does poison. And what else does he do? Let me just take him off of there. He has plus 1600 health, plus 44 speed, minus 17 melee attack, minus 20 melee defense. His weapon strength is plus 80 and armor piercing, and his ammunition remains the same. So we're just going to put him on that and go through some of the abilities that he does get. So he has Soporific Breath, so breath attack, 3 uses 60 seconds apart. Good against large combatants, strong versus a single unit. And he can fire while moving, does cause fear and terror when he's on that dragon. And he has physical resistance of 20%. So that's interesting. His magical attacks. Ammunition does magical attacks. Missile damage is mostly just regular missile damage, 196 versus 84 armor piercing. And that poison attack for in melee does minus 20 armor piercing missile damage, minus 24% speed, minus 20% weapon damage, minus 20% armor piercing damage, and minus 20% missile damage. Alright, now his abilities are Call of the Woods for 81 gold, plus 5 melee attack within 30 meters of himself. He has Foe Seekers, that's 80 gold, plus 24% speed, and plus 18% vigor for 25 seconds. And Deadly Onslaught, which is plus 36% charge bonus, plus 20% armor piercing, and plus 20% weapon damage for 158 gold for 31 seconds. And his items are the Banner of the Hunter King, which affects himself and allies within 40 meters. That's plus 5 melee attack, plus 8% charge bonus, and can cause fear. He also has a Potion of Foolhardiness, which is plus 36% charge bonus and makes him unbreakable for 31 seconds. It's only a one-use ability. Alright, so the next Lord that can be put on is a Glade Lord. And if we take off the Glade Lord's abilities and items, starts out at 950. Same sort of mounts. Elven Steed gives plus 48 speed, plus 500 health, and plus 15 charge bonus. And the ammunition the Glade Lord shoots is magical, for a range of 190. They can be up on a Giant Eagle and a Forest Dragon, which is the same sort of benefits as the last Lord. The abilities are Eye of Kurnos, which is plus 10% missile damage within a range of 30 meters for 78 gold. It's very cheap. The Arrow of Kurnos, which is 3 uses, 90 seconds apart, 600 meter range, magic missiles, causes armor piercing damage, effective at long range and good penetration, costs 168 gold. And the Prey of Anathrema, which is 3 uses, 90 seconds apart. You can target an enemy 100 meters away, and they will have minus 22% missile resistance for a cost of 163 gold. The items for the Glade Lord are the Banner of the Eternal Queen, plus 4 leadership and plus 6% damage resistance for 242 gold. And the Potion of Speed for 74 gold, that's plus 18% acceleration for 36 seconds, plus 18% charge speed, plus 24% speed, and plus 18% vigor. The next lord they have is Orion, and Orion's base cost is 1,550 gold. He does do armor piercing damage, and he has armor piercing missile damage as well. He has 12 ammunition and 140 range. His abilities are Foe Seeker, which is 25 seconds every 60 seconds for 24% speed and plus 18% vigor, cost of 80 gold. Hawk's Talon, which is a duration of 5 seconds. He has 3 uses of that. It can target 200 meters away, causes moderate magical damage, medium strike area, strong versus a single unit, and good against armor. Weak says weak versus a single combatant. Strong versus a single unit. Oh, I guess it's on bombardment, so it's good against like an infantry unit. Cost 160 gold. He has Hounds of Orion, 3 uses, 90 seconds apart. Is a vortex spell for 13 seconds. Targets the ground 150 meters away from him. Causes major magical damage. Medium randomly moving area of effect. Strong versus multiple combatants. Weak versus single combatant. Cost of 157. And that's a bound ability, not a spell. And his items are the Cloak of Isha. It's constant, and it's disabled if his hit points are greater than 20%. So when he gets below 20% hit points, it looks like it replenishes the hit points of combatants and plus 44% damage resistance. So cost of 236 gold makes him very hard to kill when he's low on HP. And he has the Horn of the Wild Hunt, which is 243 gold. It's a map-wide effect for 21 seconds every 120. Gives everyone plus 24% speed and plus 36% charge bonus. The next unit is the Ancient Treeman. We'll take off the spells and abilities. Alright, the base value for an Ancient Treeman is 1,400 gold. They do magical damage for their melee attack. 100 armor, 35 speed, which isn't bad, and 90 leadership, 471 weapon strength, so they look like pretty solid off the get. So their abilities are, the Ancient Treeman's abilities are, the Blessing of the Ancients. It's constant for himself. It's disabled if he's not in the forest. It increases power reserves for magic and improve power recharge rate. That is 81 gold. For 82 gold, he gets Life Bloom, which is a regeneration. It is map wide. It triggers whenever he's casting a spell and replenishes the hit points of combatants for 5 seconds. He has Call of the Woods, which is plus 5 melee attack to all allies within 30 meters for 81 gold, and for 80 gold he has Foe Seeker, that is 25 seconds of plus 24% speed and plus 18% vigor for 80 gold. His spells are Awakening of the Wood, which is an explosion for 12 seconds. It can target 200 meters away, causes minor magical damage, large explosion area. It's weak against armor, and it causes contact minus 48% speed. It's 7 Winds of Magic, and recharges every 31 seconds for 82 gold. He has Earthblood, which is 76 gold, 6 Winds of Magic. Lasts for 7 seconds. It's a regeneration. Hit point replenishment of combatants within 30 meters of the spell. He can target it 200 meters away. He has Flesh to Stone, which is plus 60% armor for 158 gold, 7 Winds of Magic, up to 200 meters away, and the duration is 44 seconds. That's really something. That's a long duration. 158 gold, though, for that spell. Then he has Shield of Thorns, 40 meter range. It is good against AP damage, plus 25% weapon damage, and plus 22% missile resistance for 164 gold. It's a ground targeted. You can ground target it up to 200 meters away, and the range around the spell is 40 meters for the Shield of Thorns. The next is the Regrowth, which is 242 gold. It's a regeneration spell for 12 Winds of Magic. It targets yourself or an ally. Hit point replenishment. It's good against AP damage. Replenishes hit points of combatants and gives you 22% physical resistance for 242 gold. Then there's the Dwellers Below. It's a direct damage spell, 18 Winds of Magic. target the ground. It causes severe damage to combatants, huge stationary area of effect, strong versus multiple combatants. There's a chance the opponent will resist the damage. It's weak versus a single combatant. And on contact, all for two seconds, everyone within contact has minus 24% speed, and the cost is 243 gold. The items that he can get are the Scroll of Shielding, which is a ward save, so for 57 seconds he can target himself or an ally within 100 meters for 22% damage resistance for a cost of 80 gold. And the Power Stone, which costs 70 gold, and it augments the Winds of Magic for 50 seconds. It's a one use, increase to power reserves, and increase to power recharge rate for 76 gold. Alright, so we'll go on to Durthu. We'll take off all his abilities to get his base cost. Alright, so Durthu's base cost is 1800 gold. He has 7,600 hit points, does magical damage, and armor piercing. He has 470 weapon strength, 330 armor piercing, 140 regular weapon damage, 65 melee attack, 48 melee defense. So he's pretty tough. 35 speed and 40 charge bonus. So his abilities, his bound abilities are Wild Heart, which augments the Winds of Magic. It's constant. Increases the power reserved, improved power recharged rate, and it's active if he's casting for 80 gold. Now for 81 gold he can get Blessing of the Ancients, which is disabled if he's not in the forest, increases his power reserves and improved power recharge rate. For 81 gold he has Foe Seeker, cost of 80 gold, plus 24% speed, plus 18% vigor, and Lamentation of Despair, which is you can target an enemy within 80 meters. It's a projectile, causes armor-piercing damage, strong versus a single unit, good from a high angle, weak versus a single combatant, strikes any combatants in its path. 161 gold. You can use it every 90 seconds. Magical missiles. It looks like that's unlimited for 161 gold. Now his spells are Wissen's Wild Form, 4 Winds of Magic. You can use it every 28 seconds, and it lasts for 22 seconds. You can target yourself or an ally. That gives plus 25% weapon damage and plus 30 armor for 79 gold. Flock of Doom, 6 Winds of Magic. Duration is 7 seconds. The effect range is 30 meters, and you can cast it from 100 meters away. Causes damage to combatants. Strong versus multiple combatants. High chance opponents will resist damage. Weak versus single combatants, 76 gold. The Amber Spear, 7 Winds of Magic. Can target an enemy up to 200 meters away. Causes moderate magical damage. It's good against armor, has good penetration, and effective at all ranges for 157 gold. Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, for 7 Winds of Magic. It's an augment for 44 seconds, yourself or an ally up to 200 meters away. It's good against AP damage, plus 24% speed and plus 22% physical resistance for 160 gold. He has the Curse of Anraher, 11 Winds of Magic. It's a hex, instantly affects targets in the area for 33 seconds. It's a ground attack, and it affects enemies within 40 meter range, and you can cast it up to 200 meters away. It's minus 26 melee attack, minus 24% speed, and minus 60% accuracy. It is 238 gold, so that's quite expensive. And finally, Transformation of Kadan. You only have 2 uses of it, 16 Winds of Magic. You target yourself or the ground. It spawns a Manticore, powerful unit ideal for combat. Summon units degrade over time, and spawn units fights in the battle only. 246 gold for a Manticore for a short amount of time. And the items he can get is just one, and it is the Sword of Daith. The duration is 17 seconds, and it recharges every 120. It targets an area around self and and all enemies in range for 30 meters. Causes damage to combatants and is strong versus multiple combatants. There's a chance the opponent will resist damage. It's weak versus single combatants, and it gives everyone within that range minus 30 armor and costs 239 gold. So that's the lords for the Wood Elves. We'll go on to their heroes. The first hero we have is the Waystalker. And the base of Waystalker is 700 gold. Their ammunition does magical damage, range of 190, which is very good, but their weapon strength is 310 with only a small armor piercing element. 38 melee attack, 42 melee defense, 42 speed, which is very good, but their leadership is quite low, 60. Abilities he can get from 700, starting at 700 gold, is the Eye of Kurnos, which is 78 gold. It is constant, and it affects everyone within 30 meters, and that's plus 10% missile damage, and it costs 78 gold. And he can get the Arrow of Kurnos, which is 168 gold. You have 3 uses every 90 seconds. Up to 600 meters away you can target. Causes armor piercing damage, effective at long range, and good penetration. His items are the Warrior Bane, which is minus 6% weapon damage to anything within 40 meters of him, and that is a constant effect for 81 gold. And he has a Potion of Speed, which is 74 gold, which lasts for 36 seconds, plus 18% acceleration, plus 18% charge speed, plus 24% speed, and plus 18% vigor. The next hero is the Spellslinger of Shadows. And so she comes on, her basic cost is only 300 gold, can be on 3 different mounts. An Elven Steed, which gives very low hit points, only 25-65. Does magical damage in melee though. No ranged attack. So on an Elven Steed, she has plus 60% speed, plus 300 hit points, and plus 15 charge bonus. The Unicorn, which is plus 44 speed, plus 738 hit points, plus 7 melee attack, and plus 25 charge bonus. And a Giant Eagle, which is plus 945 health, plus 15 armor. Oh, she only starts with 15 armor. Ouch. Okay. And plus 76 speed, so that's 110 speed total, plus 11 melee attack, minus 4 melee defense, plus 150 weapon strength, and plus 43 charge bonus, but no armor piercing. The abilities for the Spellslinger of Shadows are the Blessing of the Ancient, which is increased to power reserves and recharge rate for 81 gold. It is disabled if the unit is not in a forest though. And Smoke and Mirrors. It's a constant augment for themselves, costs 81 gold, and active if casting. The range is map wide, and it gives everyone Smoke and Mirrors for 24 seconds. That's plus 12% speed. Interesting. Spells. Melikoth's Mystifying Miasma. Direct damage spell for 5 winds of magic, and cast it from 100 meters away. Duration is 14 seconds. Causes damage to combatants. It's strong versus multiple combatants, weak versus a single combatant, and it gives them minus 24% speed for 78 gold. We have Enfeebling Foe. 6 winds of magic. It's a hex for 22 seconds. You can cast it from 200 meters away. And for 82 gold, you get minus 27 melee defense and minus 26 melee attack. That's very, very good. The Penumbral Pendulum, which is a wind spell, duration 3 seconds. You can cast it from up to 200 meters away for 13 winds of magic, and it causes massive magical damage. It's a small forward area of effect, strong versus multiple combatants, weak versus a single, for 155 gold. Yeah, that's when you have a lineup of opponents to fight, you can go right down that line and kill a bunch of them. Alright, then there is the Withering. For 7 winds of magic, the spell costs 160 gold. It's a hex for 40 seconds. You cast it on an enemy. They have minus 30 armor and minus 8 leadership for 160 gold. Then there's Occam's Mindrazor. For 10 winds of magic, it's an augment for 28 seconds. Yourself or an ally up to 200 meters away. It imbues magical damage on them and gives them plus 40% weapon damage and plus 40% armor piercing damage. Wow. For 244 gold though, it's pretty pricey. Then there's Pit of Shades, which is a vortex spell for 13 seconds. 13 winds of magic as well. Causes moderate magical damage, huge stationary area of effect. It can disrupt unit formations. It's strong versus multiple units and good against armor for 236 gold. And the items she can get are the Power Stone. It augments the Winds of Magic for 50 seconds. Target yourself. You get one use for 76 gold. It increases power reserves and improved power recharge rate. And the Opal Amulet. So it's a ward save. The duration is 22 seconds. You can use it every 60 seconds. It only affects herself, and it gives her 22% damage resistance and costs 80 gold. So imagine some of the other spell slingers are fairly similar. We'll get the spell slinger of beasts. And just take off these abilities. Make sure we got them all. And she starts at 300 as well. Does magical damage. Can be put on an elven steed, a unicorn, and a giant eagle, just like the other spell slinger. The abilities are Wild Heart. It's active if you're casting. It gives you 29 seconds of increased to power reserved and improved power recharge rate. Costs 80 gold. And Blessing of the Ancient. It's disabled if you're not in the forest. It costs 81 gold, increased power reserves and power recharge rate. Spells for the Lore of Beasts are Wissen's Wild Form. So for 22 seconds, it's an augment of yourself or an ally up to 200 meters away, plus 25% weapon damage, plus 30 armor. It only costs 4 Winds of Magic, and it's 79 gold to include. We have Flock of Doom, 6 Winds of Magic, duration is 7 seconds. It's an area of effect damage. You can cast it from up to 100 meters away, and has a 30 meter diameter. Causes damage to combatants. It's strong versus multiple. High chance opponent will resist the damage, and weak versus a single combatant. 76 gold. We have the Amber Spear, 7 Winds of Magic. It's a magic missile you can cast from up to 200 meters away. Causes moderate magical damage. It's good against armor. Good penetration. Effective at all ranges for 157 gold. We have Pan's Impenetrable Belt, which we've seen before. 7 Winds of Magic, 44 seconds is the duration. You can cast it on yourself or an ally. It's good against AP damage, plus 24% speed, plus 22% physical resistance for a cost of 160 gold. We have the Curse of Anraher. Again, 11 Winds of Magic. We've seen this one before. It's a hex for 36 seconds. You can target the ground up to 200 meters away, and the range is 40 meters. Minus 26 melee attack. Minus 24% speed and minus 60% accuracy for 238 gold. And finally, the Transformation of Kadon. You can only use it twice. 16 Winds of Magic. You can target on the ground up to 60 meters away. Cannot use... Okay. It spawns a Manticore. It's powerful for... It's powerful unit ideal for combat. So 246 gold, and you can summon up to 2 Manticores in the battle for 16 Winds of Magic each. And the items are Power Stone and the Opal Amulet, which is the same as the previous Spell Slinger. Alright, so we'll go the Spell Slinger, Lore of Life. And we'll look at those spells and abilities. Again, starts at 300, does magical damage. Forest Stalker. Let me see. Bonuses to melee defense and accuracy while fighting within the forest. Okay. That's what that means. And okay, you can get the Elven Steed, the Unicorn, and the Giant Eagle, just like the others. The abilities that she can have are Blessing of the Ancients for 81 gold, increase to power reserves and recharge rate. It's disabled if she's not in the forest. And Life Bloom. It triggers when casting a spell and replenishes the hit points of combatants for 5 seconds. It costs 82 gold, and it is map wide. The spells for the Lore of Life are Awakening of the Wood. It's an explosion. Duration is 12 seconds. 7 Winds of Magic. It causes minor magical damage. Large explosion area. It's weak against armor, but it does give anything it hits minus 48% speed for 82 gold. Earthblood, which replenishes the hit points of combatants. You can target it up to 200 meters away. It has a 30 meter aura, or it has a 30 meter diameter, and it lasts for 7 seconds. That's 6 Winds of Magic for 76 gold. Okay, Flesh to Stone, 60 plus 60 armor. You can cast it on yourself or an ally up to 200 meters away for 7 winds of magic, and it lasts for 44 seconds. And the cost is 158 gold. Then we have Shield of Thorns. The duration is 25 seconds. It augment for 8 winds of magic. You can cast it on yourself, the ground, an ally for up to 200 meters away. The effective range is 40 meter. It's good against AP damage, and it has gives the target 25% weapon damage and 22% missile resistance for 164 gold. We have Regrowth, which is regeneration for 12 winds of magic on yourself or an ally up to 200 meters away. It's good against AP damage, replenishes hit points, and gives you 22% physical resistance for 29 seconds while it's running for 242 gold. And finally, the Dwellers Below, which we have looked at, 243 gold, 18 winds of magic. You cast it on the ground. It lasts for 15 seconds. It causes severe damage to combatants. Huge stationary area of effect. Strong versus multiple combatants. There's a chance the opponent will resist the damage. It's weak versus a single combatant. And the Dwellers Below for 2 seconds causes minus 24% speed for a cost of 243 gold. And the items are the same. The Power Stone for 76 gold and the Opal Amulet for 80 gold. Finally, we'll look at the Branch Wraith. We'll just get all these abilities off. So the Branch Wraith comes in at a starting value of 500 gold. Is considered a wizard. Has Forest Spirit, damage dealer, and Vanguard deployment. 3,126 hit points, 47 melee attack, 35 melee defense, 60 armor, only 60 leadership, does magical damage though, does cause fear, and has 20% physical resistance. Interesting. Is weak to fire though. Alright, so at 500 gold, from there he can get Blessing of the Ancients, which gives increased power reserves and recharge rate if he's in the forest. Cost is 81 gold. Smoke and Mirrors, which is active when he's casting. It gives everyone 24 seconds for 24 seconds on the map, 12% speed boost for 81 gold. Call of the Woods. It's constant, affects himself and allies in range, gives everyone plus 5 melee attack for a cost of 81 gold and a 30 meter range on that. And of course, Foe Seeker, 80 gold, 24% speed, 18% vigor for 25 seconds. Spells he has are Awakening of the Wood, which is an explosion, 7 winds of magic, 12-second duration. You can cast it up to 200 meters away. Causes minor magical damage, large explosion area, and debuffs everyone minus 48% on their speed for 82 gold. He also has Earthblood, which again is replenishing the hit points of combatants. Has a 30 meter range, you can cast it up to 200 meters away for 6 winds of magic, lasts for 7 seconds. So it's regeneration. He has Melikos Mystifying Miasma, 5 winds of magic, duration 14 seconds, direct damage spell. You can cast it on an enemy up to 100 meters away, causes damage to combatants, strong versus multiple combatants, weak versus a single, and it debuffs them with minus 24% speed. It costs 78 gold. We have Shield of Thorns, which is 8 winds of magic, duration 25 seconds. You can target on yourself, the ground, an ally, and it affects allies in the range of 40 meters, plus 25% weapon damage, plus 22% missile resistance, and a cost of 164 gold. Then he has the Penumbral Pendulum. Again, a wind spell, duration 3 seconds. You can cast it from up to 200 meters away, causes massive magical damage for 13 winds of magic. Small forward moving area of effect, strong versus multiple combatants, weak versus single for 155 gold. The Withering, which is a hex, lasts for 40 seconds. You cast it on an enemy. They have minus 8 leadership and minus 30 armor for 160 gold. So his items are the other Trickster's Shard. So it's a constant hex around himself with a range of 55 meters, and it gives enemies minus 22% magic resistance, and he does magic damage. Costs 234 gold though, it ain't cheap. And he can get the Scroll of Shielding. It's a ward save once for 57 seconds. He can cast it on himself or an ally for 22% damage resistance for 80 gold. that gives us the heroes. So let's go on to the infantry. So we have the Eternal Guard, and it looks like they're anti-large, forest stalker, charge defense against large foes, and it looks like they have armor piercing. They do. They have 15 bonus versus large and 20 armor piercing, 4 weapon damage. Pretty cheap though, 475. Let's chevron them up. Their chevrons cost 23, 23, 25, 26, 22, 27, 28, 29, and 31. And that will take them from 475 gold to a rank 9 chevron unit of 709 gold. And at rank 9 they have plus 10 leadership, plus 6 melee attack, plus 12 melee defense, and a little bit of vigor. Alright, so that's their basic anti-large spear infantry. Now we have Dryads, which are 550 gold. They do magical damage. They're weak against armor, vanguard deployment, damage dealer, forest spirit. They do cause fear, and they do have physical resistance of 20%. They have 60 armor and a physical resistance, so these guys looks like they can get in there and bruise. They're immune to psychology as well, and they have vanguard deployment. Interestingly, they are weak to fire, minus 25%. Alright, so when we chevron these guys up from 550 gold starting, it costs 26 gold, 25, 27, 28, 23, 30, 30, 32, 32, and 32. So they can go from 550 gold to 803, and at 803 they have plus 10 leadership, plus 7 melee attack, and plus 10 melee defense at 803 gold. The next unit they have is the Eternal Guard with shields at 550 gold. Forest Stalker shielded, anti-large, charge defense against large foes, and they have a silver shield for 55% blocking of small arms missile fire, and they do armor piercing of 20, bonus versus large 15, weapon damage of 4. So at 550 gold, let's chevron them up and see what we get. I wonder how they compare to the regular Eternal Guard. Okay, so they have plus 8 melee defense over the regular Eternal Guard for 550. Actually, that is a pretty good improvement. Okay, so their chevrons cost 26, 25, 27, 28, 23, 30, 30, 32, 32, and 32. So they go all the way from 550 gold to 803. At 803 gold, they have plus 10 leadership, plus 6 melee attack, and plus 14 melee defense. So that's the Eternal Guard with shields. Next we have the War Dancers. Very low armor at 15. The Shadowed Dances of Loek. The servants of worshippers of Loek perform many intricate swirling lethal dances in his name. Let's see. The Shadow's Coil. It's an augment. For 30 seconds, you target yourself. You have plus 27 melee defense, plus minus 26 melee attack. Huh. The War Dancers harden their spirits and their bodies against would-be attackers. Okay, so that's a bit of a buff to allow them to withstand maybe a charge. They are anti-infantry, so their weapon strength of 36. They have a true bonus versus infantry of 8, and actually pretty good armor piercing damage of 10. They are worth 800, so they dodge. What's this? Highly dexterous, dodges. Huh. Okay, I don't know precisely what that dodge will be. Forest Stalker probably gives some bonuses inside the forest. And they do have physical resistance of 20%. So they have very low armor, but they do have physical resistance of 20%. And their leadership is 70. They have very good speed at 46. So let's see what it costs to chevron those War Dancers up. 33 gold, 33, 34, 36, 28, 37, 38, 39, 40. And that gets them up to 1,118 gold from 800. And at that level, they have plus 10 leadership, plus 8 melee attack, and plus 12 melee defense. Alright, we'll go and look at the War Dancers with Azrai Spears. How do these guys compare to the regular War Dancers? They are anti-large, but they have a lot more melee defense. If you look, they have 15 extra melee defense and 14 less melee attack, so they're more defensive. And they do have armor piercing, it looks like. 20 armor piercing, 12 weapon damage, and a big bonus versus large of 23. Wow. And they do the Woven Mist. So they can cast this on themselves for 30 seconds and give themselves 44% missile resistance and minus 27 melee defense. Lasts for 30 seconds. Interesting. That's a unit ability. They have Dodge, Shadow Dances of Loek, Anti-Large, and Forest Stalker. And their charge bonus is 12. Alright, let's look at what it costs to take these War Dancers with Azrai Spears and level them up. Alright, their first chevron is 38 gold, 37, 39, 40, 31, 42, 42, 44, 44, and that brings them up to the top. So they start at 950 and get to 1307. At 1307 they have plus 10 leadership, plus 6 melee attack, plus 15 melee defense for 1307. Alright. And finally we have the Wildwood Rangers at 1050 gold. They are Forest Stalker, Armor Piercing, Damage Dealer. They have very good melee attack at 48, good speed at 36, good leadership, very little armor though, and they don't have a physical resistance. They are immune to psychology. They have Guardians of the Wildwood. So it's a unit ability, constant around themselves. It's disabled if they're not in the forest. So it gives them charge defense against large and plus 12 bonus versus large if they're in the forest. Interesting. Okay. I have 6,300 hit points. Their weapon strength 42, 32 armor piercing, and 10 regular. 22 charge bonus. Interesting. Okay. So let's chevron them up and see how much they cost. They start at 1050, and their first chevron is 41 gold, 40, 42, 43, 33, 45, 45, 47, 47, and that brings them up to their top value of 1433 from 1050. And at that level they have plus 10 leadership, plus 8 melee attack, and plus 13 melee defense for the Wildwood Rangers. Alright, we'll keep going on down to the Missile Infantry. They start with their basic Glade Guard at 550 gold. The Glade Guard only has 15 armor, good range, Forest Stalker. They have no armor though. 15 armor and only 60 leadership. They fairly weak stats, but they have good ammunition and they have 170 range, only 4 armor piercing missile damage. So they start at 550. Let's chevron them up. It's 26, 25, 27, 28, 23, 30, 30, 32, 32, and 32. So they start at 550 gold and go all the way up to 803, and at 803 gold they have plus 10 leadership, plus 5 melee attack, plus 10 melee defense, and plus 4 missile damage. And they can fire whilst moving. Alright, that's their basic Glade Guard for 550. Now we have the Glade Guard with Hagbane tips. And those Hagbane, they have Hagbane tips, look like they're poison attacks. Yep. They can also fire while moving. They look pretty much the same. Yeah, they just have the different tips. I see. Okay, the Starfire Shaft version has armor piercing missiles. They're all pretty much the same otherwise, these Glade Guard. So starting at 600, their chevrons cost 27, 27, 28, 30, 24, 31, 32, 33, 34, and that gets them up to a total cost of 866 for 9 chevrons, and at 9 chevrons they have plus 10 leadership, plus 5 melee attack, plus 10 melee defense, and plus 4 missile damage. Alright, so we'll look at the Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. They're 650 gold to start, and their ammunition does flaming attacks and is armor piercing of 16 armor piercing. So to level them up, it is 29 gold, 28, 30, 31, 25, 33, 33, 35, 35, and their top value is 929 gold from 650. And at 929 gold, they have plus 10 leadership, plus 5 melee attack, plus 10 melee defense, and plus 3 missile damage. Alright. That's weird. They only have plus 3 missile damage. I just want to see. These guys have plus 4? They do. Huh. Okay, so they only have +3 missile damage, these Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. Alright, the Deepwood Scouts and the Way Watchers. So, Deepwood Scouts start at 700 gold. They have good range, 180. They can fire while moving. They have Vanguard Deployment and Stalk. They are Master Ambusher and Forest Stalker. Alright. They will have 68 leadership, only 15 armor. That's pretty common with Wood Elves, very low armor. Let's see what it costs to rank them up. The first chevron is 30 gold, 30 gold, 31, 33, 26, 34, 35, 36, 37, and the max chevron up Deepwood Scout is 992 gold, and that gives them +10 leadership, +5 melee attack, +9 melee defense, and +4 missile damage. Alright, we'll go look at the Deepwood Scouts with Swift Shiver Shards. They're 150 more gold at 850. Their ammunition does do magical damage. They are a Master Ambusher. They have Vanguard Deployment, Forest Stalker. They can fire while moving as well, but their range is only 135. Yeah, so that's quite a bit lower than the Deepwood Scouts, but they have magic ammunition. Alright, so at 850, let's see what it costs to rank them up. 35 gold for the first chevron, 34, 36, 37, 29, 39, 39, 41, 41, and 41. And at their max level, they'll go up from 850 gold to 1181, and that will give them +10 leadership, +5 melee attack, +9 melee defense, and +7 missile damage. Interesting, they get a lot more missile damage as you rank them up. Alright. Finally, the most expensive missile infantry is the Way Watchers. They start at 1100, which is really expensive. They do have Forest Stalker, armor piercing. They have good range, and they're a Master Ambusher. Their range is 190, which is really good. They have Hawkish Precision, so they can target themselves. It's constant. It's active if no enemy presence in ability range. Ability range 70 meters, plus 25% armor piercing missile damage. So if there's an enemy that's closer than 70 meters, this is no longer active. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but fine. Leadership is very good at 72. Armor still low at 15. Yeah, they have that good missile damage with 20 armor piercing and 6 regular missile damage. 24 ammunition, which is also very good. And they don't have awful stats for melee. Alright, let's rank them up and see what they cost, those Way Watchers. Their first chevron is 42 gold, 42, 43, 45, 34, 46, 47, 48, 49. And their maximum cost is 1496 gold from 1100, and at 1496 you get +10 leadership, +6 melee attack, +12 melee defense, and +6 missile damage. Alright, so we'll go on to cavalry and chariots, and we have the Wild Riders and the Wild Riders with shields. So the Wild Riders with shields basically have silver shields and have +6 melee defense for an extra 100 gold. Everything else looks precisely the same, so we'll just go through this once. Yeah, the Wildwood Riders, the Wild Riders are 1100 gold. The Wild Riders with shields are 1200 gold. So for an extra 100 gold, you get silver shields and +6 melee defense. So these guys, interestingly enough, they have 40 armor and 20% magic resistance, which is not too bad. They do cause fear. They have Vanguard Deployment. They can hide, and they have Frenzy. So if their leadership is above 50%, they have +12% weapon damage, +8% charge bonus, +8 melee attack, and they're immune to psychology. Alright, so how much does it cost to... Oh, that Frenzy, Vanguard Deployment, Damage Dealer, Forest Stalker. Okay, how much does it cost to rank these guys up? They start at 1100. Their first chevron is 42 gold, 42, 43, 45, 34, 46, 47, 48, 49, and their maximum cost is 1,496. They start at 1,100 gold, and at 1,496 with 9 chevrons, they get plus 10 leadership, plus 7 melee attack, and plus 9 melee defense. We'll just look quickly at the regular Wildwood, or the Wild Rangers with shields, and what their chevron cost is. 45, 45, 46, 48, 36, 49, 50, 51, 52. And they will go from 1,200 to 1,622, and they get plus 10 leadership, plus 7 melee attack, plus 11 melee defense. Alright, so now we'll go down to their cavalry, missile cavalry, and chariots. Okay, they have Glade Riders and Glade Riders with Hagbane tips. So the Hagbane tips. So the Glade Riders with Hagbane tips, this is the only difference between them is for an extra 75 gold you do poison damage. Looks like everything else is precisely the same. Alright, they can fire while moving, and they have Vanguard deployment. They're very fast at 94, that is very fast. And they cost 725. They have 150 range, which is actually excellent for a unit that fast, and 20 ammunition, which again is pretty good. So let's see how much it costs to level these guys up from 725 gold. The first chevron is 31, 30, 32, 34, 27, 34, 36, 37, 38, and they will end up at 1,024 gold from 725, and at that level, rank 9 chevrons, they have plus 10 leadership, plus 6 melee attack, plus 10 melee defense, and plus 4 missile damage. So we'll go and take a look at what their brothers with the Hagbane tips chevron up to. And yeah, it's just poison. That poison again is minus 20% armor piercing missile damage. It lasts for 10 seconds. Minus 24% speed, minus 20% weapon damage, minus 20% armor piercing damage, and minus 20% missile damage as a debuff. So how much do these guys cost to chevron up? The first chevron is 33 gold, 33, 34, 36, 28, 37, 38, 39, 40, and that will bring them from a cost of 800 to a cost of 1,118. And at rank 9 they have plus 10 leadership, plus 6 melee attack, plus 10 melee defense, and plus 4 missile damage. Alright, next unit we have is the Hawk Riders at 950 gold. These guys are very fast, and obviously being hawks they can fly. And their weapon strength, so their melee weapon strength is armor piercing 34. Their missile damage though, however, is not armor piercing. They can fire while moving, and their range is 140. They do have 110 speed, which is ridiculously good. But they only have 60 leadership. Okay, for 950 gold, if you want to rank them up, the chevrons cost 38 gold, 37, 39, 40, 31, 42, 42, 44, and 44. And they will go from costing 950 gold to 1,307 gold. That will give them plus 10 leadership, plus 6 melee attack, plus 8 melee defense, and plus 9 missile damage for them Hawk Riders. And the final unit in missile cavalry and chariots, which I guess that's just a... they have no chariots, they just call it... I guess that's just a grouping. Okay, Sisters of the Thorn, who start out at 1,050 gold. I've heard these Sisters of the Thorn talked about lots before as being very good. They're magical cavalry, they're spellcaster, forest stalker, they're very fast. The speed's 85, they have vanguard deployment, and they do have physical resistance of 50%. Holy crap. Damage of non-magical attacks is reduced by 50%. Wow. They have vanguard deployment, they can fire while moving, they have Shield of the Thorns, 3 uses every 90 seconds. You can target yourself, the ground, or an ally within 200 meters. The effective range around it is 40 meters, and it gives 25% weapon damage boost and 22% missile resistance. And they also have the Curse of Anraher. They get 2 uses of that. It's a hex. For 33 seconds, you can cast it up to 200 meters away on an enemy. The range is 40 meters around that enemy. Minus 26 melee attack, minus 24% speed, and minus 60% accuracy. Wow. Their missile damage is poison too. Like let me see, their stats are 34 melee attack and 33 melee defense, but they're probably not going to get into too many combat situations early until they use their magic. They have 18 ammunition and 30 charge bonus. Their range is a little short at 90 though. Interesting. Let's see how much it costs to chevron these Sisters of the Thorn up. 41 for the first chevron, 40, 42, 43, 33, 45, 45, 47, and 47. So their maximum chevron is at 1433 from 1050 gold, and at that level they get plus 10 leadership, plus 7 melee attack, and plus 12 melee defense, and plus 9 missile damage. It's actually quite high. Alright, so now we have monsters and beasts. So we'll start with the Great Eagles. They are 800 gold. They're very fast, 110 speed, absolutely correct. They have 30 armor, which is very low. Their leadership is a little low at 60. Their weapon strength is 390. Well, they actually don't have a too bad of an armor piercing element to that. 156 armor piercing, 234 weapon damage. Their charge bonus is 62. They could be very good at cycle charging, obviously. So for 800 gold, how much does it cost to chevron these Great Eagles up? The first chevron is 33 gold, 33, 34, 36, 28, 37, 38, 39, and 40. And at 9 chevrons, they go from being 800 gold to 1,118. And at that level, they get plus 10 leadership, plus 8 melee attack, and plus 11 melee defense. Alright. How many do they have? Great Eagles? Oh, it's just one unit. Okay. And we have the Treekin here at 900 gold, and it is 12 units as opposed to 1. They have 6,576 hit points, which is good, and they do magical damage, but they only have 20 melee attack, 54 melee defense. Okay, so they're really tanky. Okay, I guess the Forest Spirit, they have armored, 80 armor, charge defense against large. They're monstrous infantry. They're really tanks, aren't they? And their abilities are, they do have physical resistance of 20%, which is really good. It makes them even more tanky. Missile resistance of 15%. They are weak to fire, 25%. They do cause fear. They have charge defense against large. And they're immune to psychology. Their weapon strength is 58 too. 18 armor piercing is okay. Alright, so what does it cost to rank up a Treekin? The first chevron is 36. Next is 36, 37, 39, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43. So a rank 9 Treekin goes from 900 gold to 1244, and it gives them plus 10 leadership, plus 5 melee attack, and plus 16 melee defense. So they got a lot of melee defense for their chevrons. Huh. I'm definitely going to have to do some testing against these Treekin. They're a very interesting unit. Okay. Finally, we have the rare monsters and beasts, and we have the Tree Man. And for 1,500 gold, you get one unit. It's a Forest Spirit. He is armored and has charge defense against all. It is a monster. He does cause fear and terror. He has expert charge defense against everything. Again, he has a weakness to fire of 25%, missile resistance of 15%, physical resistance of 20%, and 100 armor. 45 melee attack, which is magical damage, and 56 melee defense, 500 weapon strength, and 30 charge bonus. So the 500 weapon strength, only 110 armor piercing, so it's a little bit low. Let's see what happens if we rank up this Tree Man. So the first rank is 54 gold, 54, 55, 57, 42, 58, 59, 60, and 61. So he starts out at 1,500, and you can rank him up to rank 9 at 2,000 gold. And at rank 9 he has plus 10 leadership, basically making him unbreakable, plus 8 melee attack, and plus 16 melee defense. Alright, and the last unit is the Forest Dragon. Now the Forest Dragon comes in 1,800, does cause fear and terror, has 50 armor, 20% physical resistance, low leadership at 65 actually, good speed at 90, does do poison attacks and magical attacks. 46 melee attack and 36 melee defense. Isn't awful. And weapon strength though is armor piercing. That's the big one. 305 armor piercing and 135 regular weapon damage. Charge bonus of 60. So 1800, the cycle charging beast. Alright, so Forest Dragon. The chevrons for that Forest Dragon start at 63, 63, 64, 66, 48, 67, 68, 69, 70. Okay, so they start at 1800 gold for a Forest Dragon, and you can chevron them up all the way to rank 9 for 2378 gold, and for that gold you get plus 10 leadership, plus 8 melee attack, and plus 12 melee defense. And their breath attack is soporific breath. It's magical missiles. You have 3 uses of it, and the range is 80 meters, or 90 meters, sorry. Projectile range. Powerful explosion, good against large combatants, strong versus a single unit. Okay, is it anti-large? Let me see the weapon strength. He doesn't have anti-large. No, it's just good against large combatants. Interesting. Okay, that is it for the Wood Elf roster. Every ability, every lord, every unit, and every chevron. We will see you later. Have a good one.